नमः सर्वेभ्यः। नमस्ते। भवती म्यूट् मध्ये अस्ति। कञ्चन महोदय भवती
unmuted.
इदानीं श्रूयते।
What did you say?
I said it is इदानीं श्रूयते.
People.
I can hear you now.
Oh.
Or we can hear you now. राखी राज महोदयौ सुस्वागतम्। कथम् आसीत् भवन्तौ प्रयाणः?
It was good, sir.
It was good.
कदा आगन्तवन्तौ?
Yesterday.
अस्तु। सर्वं कुशलम्? उत्तमम्। कञ्चन महोदय कथम् अस्ति?
अहं सम्यक् अस्मि महोदय।
समयः कः तत्र इदानीं?
दुबै नगरे 6:30 सार्धषड्वादनं।
सार्धषड्वादनं वा? शङ्कर महोदय सुस्वागतम्।
धन्यवादः।
संगीता नीलिमा महोदय अपि सुस्वागतम्। अपेक्षा महोदय कथम् अस्ति? भवत्याः चित्रं बहु बहु उत्तमम् अस्ति। चिन्ता नास्ति। भवत्याः कैमरा न भवत्याः देवी चित्रम् एव बहु सर्वेभ्यः रोचते। उत्तमम् अस्ति। अपेक्षा महोदय स्वागतम्। श्रीरूप महोदय स्वागतम्।
नमस्ते महोदय, स्वागतम्।
नमस्ते। अस्तु, इदानीं प्रार्थनां कृत्वा प्रारम्भं करिष्यामः। शेर् करिष्यामि। एकनिमिषम्। श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम। ओम वक्रतुंड महाकाय सूर्यकोटिसमप्रभा निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा। सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणी विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। वाक्यकारं वररुचिं भाष्यकारं पतञ्जलिं पाणिनी सूत्रकारं च प्रणतोऽस्मि मुनित्रयम्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। नमस्ते संस्कृतमातरं सर्वेभ्यः। अत्र तृतीय कक्षायाम् अथवा चतुर्थः सत्रे सुस्वागतम्। अस्तु वा? एकवारं पुनस्मरण अस्तु। केऽपि जनाः पृष्टवन्तः। किं पृष्टवन्तः? Udatta anudatta kada bhavishyati. Please have a look at this. This is how you represent the udatta and anudattas. The sahana in sahana avatu sa is anudatta, na avatu the na is udatta. The way it is to be chanted is Om Sahana avatu Sahanao bhunakto Sahaviryam karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Astu va? Okay. So for now we will just stop here. Let me ekvaram punasmaranam कृत्वा अग्रे गमिष्यामः. शिवसूत्राणि दृष्टवन्तः, अनन्तरं स्वराः दृष्टवन्तः, अयोगवाहौ दृष्टवन्तः, व्यञ्जनानि 33 व्यञ्जनानि सर्वदा अर्धमात्रकं भविष्यन्ति, तेषामपि दृष्टवन्तः. गुणिताक्षराणि कानि इति दृष्टवन्तः, संयुक्ताक्षराणि अपि दृष्टवन्तः. इदानीं किं करिष्यामः अद्य एकवारं दृष्ट्वा अग्रे गमिष्यामः. प्रश्नाः किञ्चित् नन्तरं स्वीकरिष्यामः. अस्तु वा? ओके,
अस्तु महोदय.
उत्तमम्. अद्य कक्षायां प्रथमतः उच्चारणस्थानानि कानि कानि इति पश्यामः. उच्चारणस्थानानि अर्थात् किं? How do we speak? Where do we speak from? We all know there is some vocal cord, there is some mouth, there is something anunasika. We all said all those interesting things. But is this all? And how did we ever come about this? And what is it that is ever happening? We will see that for a little. Then we will see a little bit. We should know about our who are the people who have actually given us this beautiful rules and ways to speak. I just showed you one sahana vavatu, sahana bhunaktu, so on and so forth, right? That whether I chant that mantra or anybody in the world chants that mantra, it will exactly sound the same way. So irrespective of whether we have met or not, you put 100 people together, start chanting Sahana Vavatu, you will find one chorus. If they have learnt it properly, if they have learnt through a guru, it will sound exactly the same way wherever you do it, wherever we chant it from. So who are the people who made these things possible? Let's take a look at that. Then किञ्चित् सरलसंस्कृते अद्य सम्भाषणमपि कुर्मः. तदनन्तरं पदानि कानि कानि, लिङ्गः कः, वचनं किम् इति पश्यामः. यदि समयं भविष्यति चेत् सरलवाक्यानि अपि रचिष्यामः. सरलसंस्कृते वाक्यानि अपि रचिष्यामः. पश्यामः how we can go about it. Okay, so first and foremost, where all do sounds originate from our what do I call this, nasal system, nasal or vocal system that exists? If you look at this, I'm not sure, is this visible to everyone? Can
Yes.
somebody
आम
just
महोदय.
Yes, yes.
is it
पश्यामः.
दृश्यते? अस्तु.
दृश्यते.
If you look at this, let me just count this for those who are not familiar with the counting. 1, eka,
द्वे
3, चत्वारि, पंच, षट्, सप्त, अष्ट, नव, दश, एकादश. So between we have not even come to the tongue, by the way. This is just at the point of where your tongue is still fixed. All right. So sounds can emanate from 11 places even before your tongue is there. All right. So that's what this is saying. Then 11 points. Then there is 12, very close to the edge of the what do I call the joint of the tongue. 13, 14, 15, 16. By 16, I am here at this point. That is somewhere at the tongue and this mid of the tongue. We have crossed 2/3 of the tongue is done. Okay, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. Totally, there are 26 points from where sounds can originate. In fact, there are 31 apparently, but those 5 more are in higher states of exaltation, and there's enough research going on, which are the parts of the brain which will activate when what goes about, right? And this is not something I am giving you, or this is not something that is found out now. This is what actually is present in the Bhashya of Patanjali at 2 places. When he wrote the Bhashya at 2 places this is present. One is in Patanjali's Bhashya of Panini's Sutras, and in Yoga Sutra also. Panini's Yoga Sutra gives us very clearly these are the places where sounds can originate. Now here,
Patanjali Yoga Sutra.
let me remind you, the Nabhi is not counted. This is only in the nasal and the vocal system. So if you want to say Omkara will start somewhere in the Nabhi. That's on your stomach portion. Om. So that vibration will start right from your somewhere in the stomach region. Okay. So if you include all those things, this will expand much more. And the Yoga Sutras will expand it to a lot more, take it to a much larger plane. Okay. So this is the first level. The second level is, what are the sounds originating from these points? Okay. So what they have done is they have combined these 26. They bucketed these 26 into somewhere like the 11 points, which are either standalone or a combination of 1 or 2 of these. All right. So let's take a look at that. If you look at this figure, you will see that there are some which are with a full line. Okay. Then there are those with a broken line. So the one with the full line are those that are standalones. Only with those points you can get sounds. Itself you can get sounds. Then there are other sounds which originate with a combination of 1 or 2 or more points. Let's take a look at them in detail. So the kantha, that is our vocal cord. What all come from there? Let's start from here. Let's go. We'll go in the reverse order. For some reason, this is all in the reverse order. They have made it because it's easier to. Yeah, probably they should have put it the other way around the human face, but that's okay. Let's do it this way. Kantha. They say aha, kavarga, and ha. They originate from the kantha. So if you have to say it will only originate from your kantha. Ka, kha, ga, gha, nga. That will also necessarily originate from the kavarga. So if you remember, I said Vidyarambham karishyami. Right? So that ga should come from your kantha. Okay? We will see where makara comes from in a while. Hang on. Okay? Then, what is talu? Talavya talu is the point. Talavya is something that comes out of talu. So that's how it is to be read. What is talu? Talu is that point where you have something hanging from the top. If you open your mouth and look at it, look inside in a mirror, you'll see a point hanging between your tongue. There's a space, and at the tip, at the end of your tongue, at this point, there is something that's hanging up there. That needs to vibrate for us to pronounce e, ikara and chavarga, cha, cha, ja, ja, nya. Ya and sha, ya and this sha, shankara sha also will originate from there. Okay. Now, murdha. When our tongue touches the upper part, as it points towards our
Upper palate.
brain or the cerebrum, that becomes murdha. Rakara, tavarga, ta tha da dha na. You cannot pronounce tavarga without your tongue touching that upper labial, this one. Okay. And sha. So somebody asked last time as to what is the difference between Shankara sha and Shanmukha sha. So this sha necessarily has to happen that way. Whereas this sha, it will be from your talu. So if you are pronouncing it right, sha or sha, there will be no movement of your tongue and touching upwards. Whereas if I say sha, your tongue will necessarily be touching the upper, this one. Okay, cerebral. It will be pointing towards the cerebral. All right. Then we have danta. You cannot, when you are pronouncing these things, that is the tavarga and sa, your teeth will necessarily block the air that is coming out, block your tongue. Ta, tha, da, dha, na. All right. So you will see that as we age, and if you are not going to maintain our teeth, if you are not going to brush our teeth and maintain them well, be careful about the tavarga. We'll all say la or some such this one. That's why you'll see babies having difficulty with the tavarga. So they will all be ad-libbing things around, which will be difficult, right? Then we have oshta. Oshta are labial, lips. Try pronouncing pa pa ba ba ma without using your lips. Let us see. Anybody wants to try that? It's an open challenge. Anybody wants to say, I will pronounce pa pa ba ba ma without lips? Hats off. No?
Not possible, Mahodaya.
Not possible. Okay. In fact, there is a whole Nataka of Bhasa where one character loses his upper lip.
Oh.
You won't believe it. And this is in the first chapter or the second chapter of the Nataka. Okay. First play or something like that. After that, the entire this one Bhasa has ensured that he does not have a dialogue. He has no dialogue where any of the pavarga is to be used. That is the power of Bhasa. Anyway, let's see where we can get with it. Okay. So this is U, and pavarga are from the Oshta. Let's see a little more. A combination of these, what can they do? And of course, we have the Nasika. Yamang, Gakara, Kakaganga, nya, na, ma, ma. Now it's a combination of nga. As I said, it's your kantha and the nasal point. Okay, nya is your taluka and the nasal point. Na is the murdha and the nasal point. Okay, is a nasal sound with the murdha. Na is danta and the nasal. Ma is your labial and the nasal.
Oshta and nasal.
Ah,
Oshta and nasal.
oshta and nasal, right? Labial, that's basically lips. Correct. Right. Now, danta mula, ra and la. What happens to those with the teeth, the front teeth not being present? That's why you will see people pronouncing lakara in place of takara a lot of times, or rakara, refa. Okay, their ta will become their sa usually becomes refa, and then their tavarga becomes lakara. All right. So there, what happens is they'll be trying to get to the teeth, but since there is no teeth, the la will come out. The la is basically just before your the what we call the jaws. It'll touch the jaw. And
Junction between the teeth and the jaw.
yes,
R.
exactly. And that's why you will hear them say la when they want to say the tavarga. And this happens very much with children who are yet to get their teeth. Okay, that's why it is called. I mean, it has a lot of words in various Indian languages. Okay, ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಅದನ್ನ ತೊದ್ಲೋದು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. In Kannada they use that word. Danta and oshta. Va. You need to use your teeth as well as your lips for the vakara. Okay, and oshta and kantha. So these are the two extremes now. You have your lips and the kantha. So o, o, om. That is om is because the makara comes there. That's all. Nothing more very specific about it. So this is how in detail people have studied this. People have done this. Very few of us were probably taught when we were studying English in our schools and things. But today we have a lot of language labs that are created out of this. What we also realized from the Yoga Sutras is that I'm sure a lot of us have heard of things like this dyslexia or many other learning disabilities. Correct?
Yes,
And
Mohan.
people cannot identify what is being told or cannot do it, are not able to read things properly or not able to grasp things properly. So when some of these senses are switched off, in fact, they have this system actually works very well with them to the extent that autistic kids are extremely well known to identify sounds coming out from which point and how they are coming. And I remember one where Bombay Jayashree, some place where we were talking to Bombay Jayashree, and she's an extremely good singer, right? And she had a very wonderful concert. At the end of the concert, one child walks up to her and just says, "You know what? Today you didn't sing anything at all. It was all wrong." She was shocked to hear that, and then when she went back and heard the recording, she actually realized that was wrong. Of course, the kid's mother came up and said, he's autistic, sorry, just pardon and all. That's how she started off her autistic journey, in fact, or as in helping autistic kids. But yeah, this system recognizing this system is very, very well developed in autistic kids. That's something that is very well known now. So there are enough language labs being developed. There are enough things, enough research is going on in this field. Anybody who wants to do anything, most welcome. We can always think of ways to do it. All right. So this is up to the. This is what I wanted to talk about, the Varnamala, about the where all the Ucharana happens. I'll take another about 5 minutes to talk about our Vyakaranakaraha, K. Sasan. Who are the people who gave us such a beautiful rules of forming, rules of maintaining a language? I wouldn't say rules of talking a language, or what makes this. And yeah, somebody had asked earlier, I think it was Divya Jyoti Mahodaya, right, who had asked if
Sir, yes.
Jyoti Mahodaya, what makes it a Deva Bhasha?
Yes.
Right. So this level of detail and this level of insight into how a language is to be taken up, and understanding a language at this level, and this is not research done today to prove it, this is some research I'm talking at least 2500 years ago. This exists in Panini's grammar itself. The very first, this one, he has talked about this, and I'll just tell you why Panini is not the first one. I'll just show you something around that, right? It has to have existed much before Panini, and all our Veda Shastras come even much before Padini. Padini was nowhere near the Veda Shastras. Okay. So let me just go to the next slide here. Padini. We all know Padini very well, correct? Anybody who's not heard of Padini or his contribution?
Yeah.
It is believed that he formed the Maheshwara Sutra, right?
Yeah, he brought out the Maheshwara Sutrani and Shiva Sutrani, and he did that work. And he gave us what is called the Ashtadhyayi. That is what we take as today's, the key reference to form all words and all sounds and all syllables and all sentences and everything. Pretty much everywhere. Okay. Now let me ask a question. Was there no language before Panini? In which case, what did Panini do? What was Panini's contribution? Leaving aside, going being in, yes, there is a good story of him being in the Shiva's this one, and Shiva Sutra Jalam. We just saw the whole Nitavsane, Rajrajo, all those things, right? So in the first class, so what was it that Padini really contributed?
I think he observed.
It's simple for everyone to understand it.
Yeah, he observed and arranged it in a particular fashion.
He arranged the Varnas in a particular fashion and brought out the rules for combination of these patterns. How do they combine? How do we combine Varnas? Varna is basically color. Technically in Sanskritam, Varna means color. Okay. But Varna, as we saw, is broken down. It can be letters. So basically different shades of those shades, basically. So Swaras, Vyanjanas, Ayogavaho, and all these things. And what are those rules that govern the formation of these? That was his contribution, and that was the key contribution, and he made it so beautiful and so strong that even to this day those rules cannot be violated. I don't think anybody has done anything more to. That is the final last point where any improvement on the source code has happened. To put it very simply in modern day computer science terms. So the source code has not changed after that. We have modified its formats, we have modified the structures, we have modified the inputs and get better different outputs, or we have our processors getting stronger, so on and so forth. But the source code for all this still remains Panini. All right. But Panini himself did not generate this out of no one. He actually credits a lot of people for his work. Panineः पूर्वं के आसन् प्रथमः अत्र पश्यामः. Panineः पूर्वं, if you want a list of all the people whom Panini is actually crediting in his Ashtadhyayi, you will see first and foremost one Sri Yaskaracharya. Yaskaracharya is the, if you read the Veda Vyakarana even today and Veda Nirukta, these are the Shadangas of Vedangani. We will look at Vedangani in some class in some time. Okay. Yaskaracharya's work, Apishali, Audumbarayana, Chakravarma, Agastya, Gargya, Galavaha. Agastya is also the person who is also the Rishi who is there. Agastya Maharshi comes in Ramayana as well. He is the person who has written the Vyakarana Shastra of Tamil. So the same person, same Maharshi. Galavaha, Kasa Krishnaha, Shaunagaha, Vyadihi, Shakalyaha. These were people before Panini. And what were the works some of the works that are available to us today? We know that there was something called Aindram. Who created what? We are still not very clear at all. There was something called Aindram, Chandram, Kaumaram, Shaktam. All these things, we do not have much details on these, but they were all there. So now we should be, if you look at this, it is but obvious that, Nalanda University had to burn for 3 months if it was, preserved like in this fashion. All right. When Bhaktiar Khilji just burnt it down. Okay. Now this was before Panini. What happened during Panini's time? When I say during Panini's time, just don't take it as during the years Panini was alive and all. Say plus 200 years or so. Okay. So Patanjali and Vararuchi, as we say, Bhashakara Patanjali, Vakyakaram Vararuchim, Bhashakaram Patanjalim. So there is, of course, there is some debate between whether it was the same Patanjali who gave us the Yoga Sutras or not and all. We'll not get into those things. For now, we'll just take it as Patanjali, as both are there, and we have a Bhashya and we also have a Vartika of Panini, sorry, coming out of these people. They were also great grammarians. They also did a lot of work. And I just said Panini was the last source code for doing this. From the source code, but we all know, if those of us who have done some bit of computer science will know that source code is one thing, but then decoding it and really implementing it at various places and making it client worthy and client ready is a challenge in itself. For close to about 20 centuries, they actually figured out that the 3,987 rules to memorize and put it in recursive fashion was really a challenge. So that is where in 17th century, as late as 17th century, Bhattoji Dikshita, Kim Krutavan, he said, it's all right. Let's bucket these rules into some ways that are only applicable to certain in certain frameworks. He broke that source code into some fashion. That was what came about as Siddhanta Kaumudi. And Bhattoji Dikshitasya Chhatraha Varadarajaha Asit. Saha, he said, okay, even that Siddhanta Kaumudi is a little difficult for people. So let me go one step ahead and make it easier for people going forward and make what is called Laghu Siddhanta Kaumudi, a shorter version of that Siddhanta Kaumudi. And this Laghu Siddhanta Kaumudi, what goes out today as LSK, if you go to any shop and ask for LSK, they'll give you Laghu Siddhanta Kaumudi. All right. So that is very well studied until the late 20th century or so. This was very, very popular. There were two versions. One was the Panini school where they would take care of all the 3,987 rules and then go about applying it very meticulously. And then there was the Bhattoji Dikshita and Varadaraja's rules which were being applied. Then there was one Pushpa Dikshit, somewhere from the 1980s, who has created what is called the Paushti Prakriya. So this is something that is really ongoing. This is the hottest topic of research. What she has done is, let's look at it the other way around. Instead of looking at it the Bhattoji Dikshita's way of Panini's rules, let's look at the rules themselves and bucket the rules themselves as to how they can be used. And she has created her own Prakriya, and this is being used very, very deeply even in some of the big translators and all that I'm aware of. So this is in short our Veda Vangmaya Idanim Kim Vartate. Astva. So, Mahodaya, any questions as to why or how these things are base rules, or why we have a Deva Bhasha that goes back so much, and how in detail these things have come up?
I have only one question, Karthik Mahodaya.
Uchita.
So you mentioned just now that. So do we have any idea of like when this Panini, like you already mentioned about the other two people 17th century, but do we have any idea of like when Panini or Patanjali and these people were around, at least like rough dates at least? Do we have, or we don't?
As in, Srikant Talgeri has done enough work on this. Perhaps we should refer to him. But I personally refrain from getting into these date business, history, what is termed as history centricity and all such interesting stuff, because we can get into enough debates around that. So I would avoid getting into that debate for the simple reason that they have certain ways, and if you go back to the Vedas, from my perspective, from what I have learned from my gurus and from my acharyas, it dates back to the origin of the universe itself. It has to. I mean, that's how it will come out then. Okay. But then if you want to really date back, use carbon dating, use modern day scientific techniques, go back there. I would say, yes, science is doing a good job. We are all doing, I'm also a student of science. I also come from a science background. But the problem with that egoistic approach is that, science does not accept anything that it does not, there is no scope to say that I do not know as yet. Maybe I'll find it out. That if I don't see it, it does not exist. Science takes that line of thought.
Sure,
or if my senses cannot perceive it.
Yeah, I understood that, but I'm just asking, like, at least do we know it is like 1000 BC or before that or something, at least like this much definitely according to the science
at least, okay, if you want that sort of a thing, at least 2000, at least before the Buddha's time, we know that.
Okay. Okay, got it.
We know that for sure.
Okay.
That much is given. because by the time Buddha came in, we know that Panini is referenced and all those things, because that is all referenced through various other. Takshashila and all have used his works extensively.
Okay, good. That's all I want. Yeah, thank you.
To that extent, we know that it exists. Right.
Mahodaya, I have one question.
Mahodaya.
That Paninehe Purvam, one name came, that is Gargayaha. It is the Gargyaha. So it is that Brahmacharini Gargi that we know.
That's the same thing. So this is what it is. Asta. We'll take, I am sure today we have a lot of people did message me that they would not be coming to class. So that is okay. A lot of people are traveling. So fine. Idanim, it's a small class.
One more point. Sorry, very sorry. So like last time, like I did not attend the class, but I saw your video. So at the end, towards the end, you mentioned that you will send a Google Sheet for changing the class time. So are you still doing that, or you
yes,
are not?
we are. We will be having the class. Okay, yeah. Next class will be from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m.
7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. Okay.
Yeah, I received about 19 responses. 16 said we want it from 7 to 8:30. 3 said 6:30 to 8. So I think 16 is quite a majority for a 32. Others, I'm sure, I'm assuming that are okay with either of the two.
Sure. Okay. And so some of these emails are not coming. At least I did not receive this Google Sheet. I tried to see.
No, there was no Google Sheet. I did not send any Google Sheet. I messaged in the WhatsApp. Are you in the WhatsApp group?
No, I left the WhatsApp group because there were a lot of messages, and during my research time, it is like affecting me. So that's why I had to come out of the WhatsApp group. I was assuming that you will post on the Google Classroom everything. So that's the reason I came out of the WhatsApp.
I see. No, please be on the WhatsApp group. I suggest you be there. The thing is, even though if there are too many messages, you can ignore the ones which are not relevant to you in per se. Okay?
Sure. Yeah.
Just be around there.
Sure, fine. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So nobody is posting any unwanted messages. We'll filter.
No, not like unwanted, because of there are many. It's not like admin is posting, right? Everybody is discussing. So that's why many messages are there during the research time. It is creating problem to me. So that's why I had to come out of that.
Yeah, all right. No,
anyway,
but
I'll do that.
Just get yourself back in. That's what I would suggest. All right. Okay. इदानीम् एकं कार्यं करिष्यामः. संस्कृते वार्तालापं करिष्यामः किञ्चित्. प्रथमदिने किं कृतवन्तः? वयं सर्वे अस्माकं किं कृतः, किं करिष्यन्ते, कुत्र कार्यं करिष्यन्ते, नाम किम्, एतं सर्वम् उक्तवन्तः. इदानीं संस्कृते एतद् वदिष्यामः. अस्तु वा?
अस्तु महोदय.
प्रथमतः नमः सर्वेभ्यः. किं भविष्यति? सर्वेभ्यः नमस्काराः, स्वागतम् इति वक्तुं शक्यते. अस्तु. मम नाम कार्तीकः. भवतः नाम किम्? अथवा भवत्याः नाम किम्? वक्तुं शक्यते वा? Can we go about one round of introductions? परिचयं करिष्यामः. ज्योति महोदय.
मम नाम ज्योति अस्ति.
भवत्याः नाम ज्योति अस्ति वा? उत्तमम्. एकं कार्यं करोतु. इदानीं अन्य केपि अत्र point out to someone and ask the same question.
शंकर महोदय.
अस्तु.
What is the question?
प्रश्नं पृच्छता.
प्रश्न
पृच्छामि.
पृच्छतु.
त्वं
मम नाम शङ्करः.
नाम किम्?
भवतः नाम किं? त्वं मास्तु. भवतः. भवतः
नाम किम् अस्ति? Should I say अस्ति or?
अस्ति वदिष्यति चेत् सम्यक्, न वदिष्यति चेत् अपि डिफॉल्ट् इस् अस्ति.
मम नाम शङ्करः.
भवतः नाम शङ्करः. उत्तमं. भवान् किं करोति?
मम retired
सेवानिवृत्त.
अस्मि.
सेवानिवृत्तः अस्ति.
Sorry?
सेवानिवृत्तः अस्ति.
That's a complicated word.
सेवा
is service.
निवृत्तः. निवृत्तः.
Without. Okay.
कुतः सेवानिवृत्तः? From where?
Corporate service.
Corporate service. अस्तु. चिन्ता नास्ति. Corporate service सेवानिवृत्तः अस्मि. उचितं. चिन्ता नास्ति. अशुद्धं भविष्यति चेत् सम्यक् अस्ति. अद्य सम्यक् अस्ति. 5 मासानन्तरं शुद्धं करिष्यामः. शोधयामः. अस्तु वा? अस्तु. अन्य केपि पृच्छताम्. ज्योति महोदयायाः एवं पृच्छताम्.
महोदय,
भवती किं करिष्यति इति पृच्छताम्.
भवती, I was about to say, what are you doing? भवती किं करिष्यति? करिष्यति, करिष्यसि.
करिष्यति. भवती चेत् करिष्यति. त्वं चेत् करिष्यसि. करिष्यसि. त्वं किं करिष्यसि? इदानीं त्वं मास्तु. भवान् भवती
किं करिष्यति?
भवती
किं करिष्यति?
अहं योगा अध्यापिका
अस्मि.
अहं योगा अध्यापिका अस्मि.
उत्तमम्. अन्य केपि प्रश्नाः पृच्छतु शङ्कर महोदय. Why not? Everybody has put their names, so you can call out their name and say, please.
भवती कथम् अस्ति?
भवती
कथम् अस्ति?
कथम् अस्ति अनन्तरं पश्यामः. नाम एव पृच्छताम्.
ओके.
कथम् अस्ति? अस्तु. कः कथम् अस्ति?
Sorry?
Whom do you want to ask? कथम् अस्ति?
नीलिमा.
नीलिमा महोदया.
नीलिमा महोदये, भवती कथम् अस्ति?
वदतु महोदय. कथम् अस्ति भवती?
Katham means where, right?
How are you?
How are you?
अहं कुशलिनी अस्मि. अहं सम्यक् अस्मि. अहम् उत्तमा अस्मि.
अहम् उत्तमा अस्मि.
उत्तमम्. अहम् उन्मत्ता अस्मि. न, उन्मत्ता मास्तु. उन्मत्ता नास्ति. उत्तमा एव अस्ति. अस्तु. इदानीं भवती पृच्छताम्. धन्यवादः शङ्कर महोदय. भवती पृच्छताम्।
Whom can I ask? Nirmala ma'am.
निर्मला महोदया, मैम मास्तु।
Sorry, Nirmala Mahodaya.
निर्मला महोदया कुत्र अस्ति?
सर भगिनी बोलतात ना, भगिनी?
भगिनी अपि, भगिनी भ्राता सर्वं चलति। निर्मला महोदय कुत्र अस्ति? अस्ति वा? नास्ति इति मन्ये।
मला विचारा।
भवत्याः नाम किं?
भवत्याः नाम किं?
उचिता महोदय।
बोलो। मम नाम मोनिका।
भवत्याः नाम मोनिका वा? वदतु नीलिमा महोदय।
भवत्याः किं करिष्यतः?
करिष्यति। भवती किं करिष्यति?
अहं गृहिणी अस्ति।
सा गृहिणी अस्ति। अस्तु वा? उक्तवती। मोनिका महोदय, भवती एकं प्रश्नं पृच्छताम्।
नीलिमा भगिनी न?
पृच्छतां, नीलिमा महोदय एव पृच्छताम्।
नीलिमा भगिनी किं नगरे वसति?
अहं दिल्ली नगरे दिल्ली नगरं स्थापयति।
के नगरे वसति?
के नगरे?
अस्तु वा? अथवा कुत्र वसति? कुत्र वसति इति
नगरे वसति।
दिल्ली नगरः वसति।
देहली नगरीं वसामि। वसामि।
मी कसं म्हणे? अहं पनवेल नगरं वसामि।
उत्तमं। पनवेल नगरं वसति वा? उत्तमम्। अस्तु, पनवेल नगरं कुत्र अस्ति? कुत्र समीपे अस्ति? कस्य समीपे अस्ति?
इन रायगढ़ डिस्ट्रिक्ट में।
अस्तु,
पनवेल नगरं रायगढ़ः
समीपे अस्ति।
समीपे अस्ति। अस्तु।
जिल्ह्याला काय म्हणतात सर? जिल्हा डिस्ट्रिक्ट मीन्स डिस्ट्रिक्ट को क्या बोलते? जनपदम। हाँ, अहम रायगढ़ जनपदे वसति।
रायगढ़ जनपदे वसति। अस्तु। इदानीं राखी अपि राजमहोदय स्तः तौ पृष्ठतः ask some question to them. दिलीमा महोदय धन्यवादः। मोनिका महोदय पृच्छताम्। Ask either Raj Mahodaya or Rakhi Mahodaya. Monika Mahodaya, ask them some question.
मम नाम हे बोलू परत?
You can start from the beginning.
मम नाम मोनिका। भवतः नाम किम्?
मम नाम राजः।
मम नाम राखी।
सा न पृष्टवती। सा पृष्टवती भवतः नाम किं? सा भवत्याः नाम किं न पृष्टवती। मोनिका महोदय पृच्छतां पुनः पृच्छताम् सा किं करिष्यति इति पृच्छतु
भवत्याः किं फलप्रिया सति
भवती किं फलम् इच्छति
फलप्रिया अस्ति आम्रम्
आम्रम् आम्रम् इच्छति
आम्रफलम् इच्छति
आम्रफलम्
इदानीम् अल्फासो नीत्वा प्रेषयताम् मोनिका महोदय भवती पनवेल मध्ये वसति आपूस फलं नीत्वा प्रेषयताम् अवगतं वा? You understood what I said?
No. Is that apple you referred to, sir?
Alfonso means like.
I said, Monica Mode, get Alfonso and send it to them. Alfonso Abraphalam Nitva, take it. Preshayatam. Send it. भवन्तौ कुत्र वसतः?
बेंगलूरुनगरे
बेंगलूरुनगरे
When it is two, it has to be
वसावः कुत्र बेंगलूरुनगरे?
Sarjapur Road.
Sarjapur Road, उत्तमम् अस्तु विप्रो ऑफिस समीपे वसति उत्तमम् अस्तु कार्यं कुत्र करिष्यति?
अहं इन्वेस्टमेंट बिजनेस करिष्यामि
गृहात् एव करिष्यति वा?
Work from home.
भवतः व्यवसायः गृहात् एव भविष्यति वा अन्य कुत्र भविष्यति वा? गृहात् एव भविष्यति उत्तमम् राखी महोदय भवती किं करिष्यति?
अहम् अध्यापिका अस्मि।
भवती अध्यापिका अस्ति वा? उत्तमं किं पाठयति?
Freedom International School. Kim is what subject? Science and English.
विज्ञान विषये भवती बहु उत्तमम् अभी तो आंग्ल भाषायाम् अपि आंग्ल भाषा अपि पाठयति उत्तमम्
भवान् वैद्य अस्ति?
कः?
भवान् वैद्य अस्ति?
अहं वैद्यः अस्मि वा? न महोदय अहं वैद्यः नास्मि।
नहीं ऐसा मैं क्वेश्चन पूछ रही हूँ ऐसा संभाषण
अहं वैद्यः नास्मि अहं वैज्ञानिक अहं विज्ञानशास्त्रं पठितवान् डेटा साइंटिस्ट अस्मि विज्ञान I mean वैज्ञानिकः अस्मि केपि दत्तवन्तः डेटा साइंटिस्ट भवान् डेटा साइंटिस्ट भवन्तु इति उक्तवान् तदर्थम् अहमपि लिखितवान् डेटा साइंटिस्ट इति लिखितवान्
भवत्या कवि अस्ति? कवयित्री अस्ति?
भवान् कवि अस्ति वा? यत्र अत्र कोऽपि कवि अस्ति वा? अस्तु अस्तु न अन्ये बहवः जनाः सन्ति शंकर महोदय अस्ति एक शंकर महोदय द्विशंकर महोदय अस्ति शंकर महोदय भवान् कवि अस्ति वा?
नहीं सर
कवि न अस्ति सॉफ्टवेयर इंजीनियर अस्मि
सॉफ्टवेयर इंजीनियर अस्ति भवान् उत्तमम् विक्रम महोदय भवान् कवि अस्ति वा?
न महोदय।
भवान् किं करिष्यति?
अहं प्रोजेक्ट मैनेजर अस्मि।
भवान् प्रोजेक्ट मैनेजर अस्ति। That is no less job than a kavi. So don't worry, you are a kavi. You need to make people dance to your tunes. So you need to create tunes.
ऐसा संभाषण के लिए पूछा।
उत्तमम्। आम् आम् आम्, ऐसे ही सम्भाषणं कृतवन्तः वयं सर्वे मिलित्वा कृतवन्तः। तित् महोदय, भवान् बहु तूष्णीं तिष्ठति। उच्यताम्, किमर्थम्? अजय किमपि न उक्तवान्। भवान् कवि अस्ति वा?
अहं दक्षानं शिक्षामि।
एकवारं पुनः वदतु।
अहं दक्षानं शिक्षामि।
शिक्षिष्यामि, दर्शनं शिक्षिष्यामि। भवान् पाठयति अपि वा? केवलं पठति वा पाठयति अपि वा? अस्तु, भवान् दर्शनं पठति, सत्यं वा? पाठयति वा? अहम् अत्र पाठयामि। राखी महोदय विज्ञानं पाठयति। भवान् अपि पाठयति वा? Do you also teach?
No, sir. Actually, I'm only study about philosophy. I don't know what do you mean for your question. I don't have enough the vocabulary, so.
That is okay. You can answer in English. You can answer in English.
Yeah.
With whatever you understood of the question.
Yes, sir.
Do you teach philosophy?
Not yet, sir. I am student.
अहं न पाठयामि, अहं पठामि।
Yeah, अहं पठामि।
अहं केवलं पठामि।
देव कुत्र अस्ति? देव कुत्र अस्ति?
भवान् कुत्र अस्ति?
नहीं, क्वेश्चन देव सर्वत्र अस्ति।
देवः कुत्र अस्ति? देवः कुत्र अस्ति? उत्तमम्।
Devah here. What is the meaning of Devah in this context?
Devah, भगवन्तः।
तो ऐसा पण वायु कुत्र अस्ति?
वायु कुत्र अस्ति?
वायुः कुत्र अस्ति?
मां परितः वायुः अस्ति। वयं परितः वायुः अस्ति। श्रीरूप महोदय, इदानीं तित् महोदयाय प्रश्नं पृच्छतु। अथवा राखी राज महोदयौ महोदयाभ्यामपि प्रश्नं पृच्छतु।
नमः तिक् महोदय, भवतः सम्पूर्णः नाम किम्?
मम नाम भवतः नाम किम्?
मम नाम श्रीरूप।
भवतः पूर्णनाम उच्यतु, तद् उक्त्वा तं पृच्छतां पूर्णनाम कः?
मम पूर्णनामः श्रीरूप के।
न, पूर्ण उच्यतां महोदय, चिन्ता नास्ति।
मम पूर्णनामः श्रीरूप बिण्डिगनविले कृष्णकुमारः। भवतः पूर्णनामः किम्?
नाम किम्? नामः न, नाम।
नाम किं?
मम पूर्णनाम मम करोमि.
Gwen Van Tita. Ila?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Tabletop railway. जानाति किल? भवतः देशस्य बहु प्रसिद्ध यानम् अस्ति किल? टेबल टॉप रेलवे.
थिक् महोदय, भवतः कुत्र देशस्य वसति इव?
कुतः आगतवान् इति पृच्छताम्. कुतः आगतवान्?
कुतः आगतवान्?
मम देशस्य भारतः.
अहं चेन्नई वसामि.
इदानीं चेन्नई वसति. चेन्नई कुतः चेन्नई आगतवान्? From where did you come to Chennai?
अहं
मम देशः वियट्नाम.
चिन्ता नास्ति. वदतु. अहं वियट्नामतः चेन्नई आगतवान्. वियट्नामतः
चेन्नई कुत्र?
चेन्नई आगतवान्. सम्यक्. चेन्नई नगरम् आगतवान्.
भवतः नगरे वसामि.
किं प्रष्टुम् इच्छति? What do you want to ask?
I would like to ask him where do he live? Which the city he live?
भवान् कुत्र वसति? भवान् वदतु. भवान् कुत्र वसति?
अहं बेंगळूरु नगरे वसामि.
अस्तु. इदानीं संगीता महोदय, अपेक्षा महोदय पृच्छतु. तित् महोदय, संगीता महोदय, अपेक्षा महोदय पृच्छता. धन्यवादः श्रीरूप महोदय, राखी महोदय.
महोदय, भवत्याः नाम किम्?
अतित् महोदय वदतु. सा पृष्टवती, सा पृच्छति भवतः नाम किम्? तित् महोदय वदतु. भवान् म्यूट् मध्ये अस्ति. अनम्यूट्. तित् महोदय, you need to unmute yourself. So okay, we'll move to, after Tit Mahodaya, we'll move to Apeksha Mahodaya. Apeksha Mahodaya Uchita. Sangeeta Mahodaya पृच्छतु. यत्किमपि प्रश्नः.
भवत्याः नाम?
अपेक्षा महोदय वदतु.
मम नाम अपेक्षा. भवत्याः नाम किम्?
संगीता महोदय वदतु. संगीता महोदय श्रूयते वा? Can you hear us?
Yes.
She is asking भवत्याः नाम किम्?
त्वं किं करिष्यति?
भवती किं करिष्यति? त्वं मास्तु।
अहं गृहिणी अस्मि। भवती किं करिष्यति?
सम्यक् न श्रूयते संगीता महोदय. You need to be a little louder.
अहं गृहिणी अस्मि।
एकवारं पुनः वदतु. गृहिणी अस्ति वा? अस्तु.
अपेक्षा महोदय।
अपेक्षा महोदय भवती किं करिष्यति?
अपेक्षा महोदय भवत्याः कथम् अस्ति?
अहम् उत्तमम् अस्मि, धन्यवादः। भवती कुत्र वसति?
मुम्बईस्थे। अहं कल्याणनगरे वसामि। मुम्बईस्थे।
उत्तमम्। अस्तु। विक्रम महोदय इदानीं भवान् पृच्छतु। भरत महोदय भवान् अपि पृच्छतु। We have Vikram. अपेक्षा महोदय भवती अपि आगम्यताम्। तदनन्तरं विक्रम, then I said one more. भरत महोदय, विक्रम महोदय and अपेक्षा महोदय. संभाषणं क्रियताम्। अपेक्षा महोदय भवती अपि अनम्यूट् क्रियताम्।
विक्रम महोदय, भवान् कुत्र कार्यं करिष्यति?
अहम् IBM कंपनी कार्य करिष्यामि।
वयं करिष्यामः, अहं करिष्यामि। I work, we all work, करिष्यामः is we all. पश्यामः अग्रे।
भरत महोदय, भवान् कः कुत्र कार्य करिष्यति?
बेंगलूरुनगरे कार्यं करिष्यामि।
किं कार्यं करिष्यते?
मम सॉफ्टवेयर डेटाबेस एडमिनिस्ट्रेटर कार्यं करिष्यामि।
भवान् डेटाबेस एडमिनिस्ट्रेटर। उत्तमम्। अन्य कोऽपि प्रश्नः पृच्छतु।
विक्रम महोदय, भवान् कुत्र बेंगलूरुनगरे वसति?
अहं मल्लेश्वरं, what do you call area?
Just say मल्लेश्वरे वसामि।
अहं मल्लेश्वरे वसामि। भवतः कुत्र वसति?
भवान् कुत्र वसति?
मम कामाक्षीपाಳ್यनगरे वसामि।
उत्तमम्।
अस्तु। कामाक्षीपाಳ್यं वसति वा? उत्तमम्। अस्तु।
कुत्र
कार्यालयः कुत्र अस्ति?
कार्यालय अभी अलसूरु क्षेत्रे अस्ति।
उत्तमं। क्षेत्रे अस्ति।
What do you say? How? कथं प्रयाणं करिष्यति?
मम
कार्यालये कथं करिष्यति? प्रयाणं करिष्यति?
द्विचक्रवाहने प्रयाणं गच्छामि।
द्विचक्रवाहनेन गच्छति। उत्तमम्। शंकर महोदय प्रश्न पृच्छतु।
The question was, Some places we are saying bhavati and some places we are saying bhavan. What's the difference?
Bhavati is for ladies, bhavan is for men. Masculine, feminine, very simple. Similarly, bhavataha is for men, bhavatyaha is for women.
Plural, plural.
No, bhavatyaha is for women. It is like bhavan is say you, bhavataha is your. Be something belonging to you, yours. Right? Similarly, bhavati is you, bhavatyaha is something belonging to you. So, bhavan kim karishyati? What do you do?
That is when you're asking a male.
Yes. Bhavataha nama kim? What is your name?
Oh. And bhavatyaha.
Bhavatyaha nama kim? And bhavati kim karishyati? अपेक्षा महोदय भवती यत्किमपि प्रष्टुमिच्छति वा भरतः अथवा विक्रम महोदय?
विक्रम महोदय, भवान् संस्कृत किमर्थं पठति?
अहं संस्कृतं what do you mean by kimartham? Why?
English भाषायां वदतु भोः, नास्ति।
अहं
पास्ट टाइम करिष्यामि, टु पास्ट टाइम अत्र आगमिष्यामि।
Definitely not that.
अस्तु अस्तु, वदतु।
How do you say I like?
इच्छामि इति प्रियभाषा अस्ति, तदर्थं
संस्कृतं प्रियभाषा अस्ति।
मम प्रियभाषा
अस्ति।
तदर्थं
अहं संस्कृत भाषा how do you say learn? सीखिष्यामि।
धन्यवादः।
पठितुम् इच्छामि।
अस्तु, इदानीं पूर्णिमा महोदय, यत्किमपि प्रश्नं पृच्छतु भवान्। विक्रम महोदय, भवान् पृच्छतु।
पूर्णिमा महोदय, भवती किं करोति? Is it or
किं करोति?
भवती किं करोति?
अहं सॉफ्टवेयर इंजीनियर अस्तु। अस्मि is for female.
No, asmi is for me. That is gender neutral.
भवती किं कार्यालय सॉफ्टवेयर इंजीनियर अस्ति? कुत्र सॉफ्टवेयर इंजीनियर अस्ति?
अहं इंटेल कार्यालय करिष्यामि। कार्यालये कार्यं करिष्यामि।
अति उत्तमम्।
अस्तु, तत्र सॉफ्टवेयर इंजीनियर अस्ति वा? उत्तमम्। किं कृतवान् विक्रम महोदय? भवान् पृष्टवान् तस्याः विद्युत् शक्ति एव गतः।
धन्यवादः। What do you say for compliments? What do you say for compliments?
Compliments. What do you say? You want to give her a compliment? बहु सम्यक् उक्तवती।
Okay.
रंजनी महोदय, किमपि प्रष्टुमिच्छति वा?
No, I thought you were telling her current went in between for her. Electricity went in between is what you were trying to tell, I thought.
One, I think you need to be a little nearer to your mic. It is not very clear.
I'm not saying that the electricity went for her.
There is an internet, some challenges there.
Yeah.
Please, yeah, you can repeat.
Yeah, so I was thinking that you told Puna Mahadev that the electricity went in the place.
Oh, okay. You wanted to say that. Okay. Vidyut Shakti Gataha. Astu. Chinta nasti. Dhanyavadaha. Astu. Idanim ekam anya karyampi karishyamah. केचनानि पदानि पश्यामः. रजनी महोदय भवती एव शंकर महोदय भवान् उक्तवान् वा? न भव एच शंकर न अन्य शंकर महोदय भवान् उक्तवान् वा? उक्तवान्. अस्तु, इदानीमपि भवान् एव यताम् भवान् कः इति एकवारं दृष्टवन्तः.
Not able to see. Na pashyan.
एक निमिष शेयर करिष्यामि महोदय. दृश्यते वा इदानीं?
न दृष्टवती.
दृश्यते वा?
हाँ महोदय, स्क्रीन शेयरिंग.
Aham not able to see.
You're not able to see?
No.
Okay, let me share it again. Is it visible to everyone?
दृश्यते महोदय.
दृश्यता.
Only for me, I can't see. I think.
Give me a minute. Okay. Okay, we'll come back to you. Let's start with Ranjani Mahoday. Okay, we just saw this simple conversation rules for now. We'll practice more. As we go on, we'll keep on improvising on these. So let's get to some words and understand some words. Okay. So the first thing is that there exists what is called as with most languages, what we have is a noun and a verb. That combination works in Sanskritam also. That's a very common thing. There are certain rules which we'll see in the next class as to how they work. But for now, let's just go with some words. Let's get familiar with some vocabulary in Sanskritam. Astu. Padishyati va? Rajini Mahoday padishyata.
Pulling padani. Pulling padani.
एकवचनम्. अत्र बहुवचनं सन्ति, अत्र एकवचनानि सन्ति. उचितम्.
अश्वाः.
उत्तमम्. ओके, अस्तु. इदानीं विक्रम महोदय पठता.
एकवचन बहुवचन. अजः अजाः, युवकः युवकाः, देवः देवाः, सूर्यः सूर्याः, वृषभः वृषभाः, महिषः महिषाः, मूषिकः मूषिकाः.
Mushaka. Okay, there is a typo there. It should be Mushaka. Astu. Okay. Now I will do one thing. Who is there? Okay. Jyoti Mahoday. Can you come online? Okay. Otherwise, Apeksha Mahodaya.
महोदय.
Idanim, we have seen these words, right? Hastaha, Ashwaha, Balakaha, Gajaha, Hayaha, Deepaha, Vrikshaha. Please either remember them or write them. Okay. Vikram Mahodaya, can you just make a note of these words? Hastaha, Ashwaha, Balakaha, Gajaha, Hayaha, Deepaha, Vrikshaha. Ajaha, Yuvakaha, Devaha, Suryaha, Vrishabhaha, Mahisha, Mushakaha. Mushikaha na Mushaka Bhavishati. Okay. I'll ask a question. You have to answer that, Apeksha Mahodaya. Just make the Ekavachana, Bahuvachana Mastu. Done?
You've done some.
Srirup Mahodaya Kritavan va?
हाँ महोदय.
Astu. Good. Now both of you are going to check how good Apeksha Mahodaya is on this. Okay? Ask her a question. Hastaha asti vatra. You have to look at this and tell the answer. First question. First one. Hastaha asti vatra.
नास्ति महोदय.
Now Srirup Mahodaya Uchitam Kutra asti.
I didn't get the question actually.
I said first one we saw what was Hasta, no?
Hastaha.
Hastaha was the first one. Atra Hastaha asti va chitre. Hastaha drishyate va?
No महोदय.
Nasti.
नास्ति.
Hastaha nasti va?
Hastaha.
Hastaha arthat kim? And nasti va atra.
मोदी महोदय का हस्तः अस्ति.
मोदी महोदयस्य हस्तः दृश्यते. अत्र हस्तः दृश्यते. अत्र हस्तः दृश्यते. अत्र हस्ताः दृश्यन्ते.
Too many
हस्ताः दृश्यते.
दृश्यन्ते.
दृश्यन्ते.
Next, ask the next question. What is the next word?
अश्वः.
अश्वः.
दृश्यन्ति वा?
अस्ति वा सम्यक्.
अश्वः अस्ति वा?
वा
अस्ति वा?
आम् अश्वः अस्ति.
कुत्र अस्ति? प्रथमचित्रे अस्ति अश्वः एव.
प्रथम अथवा द्वितीय.
द्वितीय ये अश्वः वा?
अश्वाः.
अश्वाः.
अश्वाः सन्ति.
अश्वाः सन्ति.
अश्वाः सन्ति. अस्तु. धन्यवादाः. We'll now take the next set of people. मोनिका महोदय आगम्यताम्. अयः अर्थः किम्? उत्तमम्.
हय अर्थः अश्वः.
एकनिमिष. We will come to that. विक्रम महोदय भवतः. We will now move to Purnima Mahodaya and Morika Mahodaya. Bharatah. Astu. Purnima Mahodaya Ekanicha. Bharat Mahodaya. महोदय, मोनिका महोदय।
मोनो किं पृच्छति?
एकनिमिषं। देर् वर पदानि आसन् किल? अत्र अश्वः भवती पृष्टवती किल? उच्यताम्। अत्र हयः अस्ति वा?
एषः बालकः अस्ति।
न, बालः मास्तु, हयः अस्ति वा?
So what is haya mean?
Haya means?
Haya means, who wants to answer that question? What does haya mean?
Haya means ashwah.
Ashwah eva.
Haya means ashwah.
Yeah.
Hayavadana.
Hayavadana uttamam. Haya and ashwa are paryayivachi pada. Okay. Hayaha asti va?
Hayaha asti.
Hayaha asti. Then ask the next question. What were the other words that we had here? Gajaha asti va?
Gajaha asti. How to say it is seen in two pictures, one single and other one plural.
Gajaha api santi.
गजाः सन्ति.
गजः अस्ति, गजाः अपि सन्ति.
गजाः सन्ति. गजः अस्ति, अपि किमर्थं गजानां चित्रम् अन्यत् चित्रम् अस्ति, तदर्थम् अपि. अन्यथा अपि मास्तु. गजाः सन्ति. सम्यक् एव. गजाः, गजः, गजाः, गजः, गजाः. अस्तु महोदय, देवः मास्तु, सूर्यः अस्ति वा अत्र?
नास्ति.
सूर्यः नास्ति. उत्तमम्. दीपः अस्ति वा?
दीपः अस्ति.
दीपः अस्ति. अन्य किमपि प्रश्नं पृच्छतु भरत् महोदय.
वृक्षः अस्ति वा?
वृक्षः अस्ति.
वृक्षाः अस्ति.
वृक्षाः अस्ति.
वृक्षाः अस्ति न, वृक्षाः सन्ति.
वृक्षाः सन्ति. ओके.
अस्ति सन्ति. अस्ति सन्ति.
प्लूरल मध्ये सन्ति.
प्लूरल. Is there, are there? सन्ति.
महोदय, जब अनुस्वार रहता है ना डबल, हो बोलते तो हाँ भी बोल सकते हैं ना. सपोज कभी अपन वृक्षः बोलते हैं तो वृक्षः भी बोल सकते हैं ना.
वृक्षः, वृक्षः अस्ति, one tree.
वृक्षः,
वृक्षाः
सन्ति.
अत्र दृश्यतां वृक्षः, वृक्षः, वृक्ष, वृक्षः, वृक्षाः.
महोदय, जब ये गीता पढ़ते हैं ना, लास्ट में ज्यादातर हाँ बोलते हैं श्लोक में, इसलिए पूछते हैं.
अच्छा, आप एकं श्लोकम् उच्यताम्. श्लोक बोलिए आप एक.
मय्यावेशमनो ये मान्,
मय्यावेशमनो ये मान् नित्ययुक्ता उपासते ये चाप्यक्षरमव्यक्तम्. आगे. चाप्यक्षरमव्यक्तम्
अव्यक्तं पर्युपासते.
पर्युपासते. तो उसमें कहीं पे भी विसर्ग की वो नहीं है.
नहीं. दूसरा कौन सा होगा तो हाँ में.
धर्मक्षेत्रे कुरुक्षेत्रे समवेतायुयुत्सवः मामकाः पाण्डवाश्चैव किमकुर्वत संजय. फर्स्ट लाइन, धर्मक्षेत्रे कुरुक्षेत्रे समवेतायुयुत्सवः. वहां पे युयुत्सवः एव, युत्सवाः न, है ना?
तो लास्ट में बहुत ज्यादा हाज बोलते हैं वो, इसलिए मेरे को अनुस्वार होता है ना.
हाँ, अगर वो आकारा, if it's ending with an akara and a visarga, then only it comes. नासतो विद्यते भावः न भावो विद्यते सतः उभयोरपि दृष्टोऽन्तः त्वनयोस्तत्त्वदर्शिभिः अशोच्यानन्वशोचस्त्वं प्रज्ञावादांश भाषसे गतासु न गतासूंश्च नानुशोचन्ति पंडिताः. अत्र पंडिताः, because that is plural. अशोच्यानन्वशोचस्त्वं, 11th श्लोक of 22nd chapter. अशोच्यानन्वशोचस्त्वं प्रज्ञावादांश्च भाषसे गतासु न गतासूंश्च नानुशोचन्ति पंडिताः. वहां पे वो दीर्घ आता है, आकारा. पंडितः पंडिताः. सिमिलरली वृक्षः वृक्षाः. सम्यक्?
आम् आम्.
अवगतं महोदय?
आम् आम्.
अस्तु. आम्. आम्रफलं खादित सम्यक् खादेत. Have good mangoes. You'll get arm very easily then. Okay. दीपः अस्ति वा अत्र महोदय, मुनिगा महोदय?
दीपः अस्ति.
दीपः अस्ति. अस्तु.
एषः दीपः अस्ति.
एषः स अग्रे पश्यामः. ओके. महिषः अस्ति वा?
महिषः नास्ति.
महिषः नास्ति. किमर्थं महिषः नास्ति? महिषः अर्थात किम?
महिषः म्हणजे
बफलो.
बफलो अत्र कुत्रापि नास्ति. मूषकः अस्ति वा?
नास्ति.
मूषकः अपि नास्ति. उत्तमम्. अस्तु, अग्रे गमिष्यामः. धन्यवादः महोदय. इदानीं भरत महोदय, पठता.
स्त्रीलिङ्गपदानि. एकवचनं बहुवचनं. एकवचनं माला, छुरिका,
छुरिका,
छुरिका, पत्रिका.
बहुवचनमपि पठता.
ओके.
माला मालाः, छुरिका छुरिकाः,
पत्रिका पत्रिकाः, उत्पीठिका उत्पीठिकाः,
उत्पीठिका उत्पीठिकाः,
नायिका नायिकाः, पेटिका पेटिकाः, लता लताः, सेवका सेवकाः,
सेविका
सेविकाः, गायिका गायिकाः, बालिका बालिकाः, कुश्चिका कुश्चिकाः,
कुञ्चिका
कुञ्चिका
कुञ्चिका कुञ्चिकाः, वीणा वीणाः, शाला शालाः, भाषा भाषाः.
उत्तमम्. अत्र लता अस्ति वा? का वदिष्यति?
लता अस्ति.
लता अस्ति वा? कुत्र अस्ति लता?
Lata means
Flowers.
flower.
Lata is not no. Shankar Mahodaya Uchitam.
You're asking me or?
Yeah, I'm asking you.
Lata means flowers, right?
No, Lata is a creeper.
Lata nasti.
Mahodaya,
Lata nasti.
how do you ask what is Lata in Sanskritam? How do you ask what is Lata in Sanskritam?
Lata arthat kim?
Lata arthat kim?
अस्तु शंकर महोदय उचितं छुरिका अस्ति वा
अस्ति छुरिका
अस्ति उत्तमं कुत्र अस्ति छुरिका कुत्र अस्ति लेफ्ट टॉप उत्तमं रंजनी महोदय वार्ता अस्ति पत्रिका अस्ति वा पत्रिका अस्ति उत्तमं ज्योति महोदय इदानीं ज्योति महोदय अस्ति वा अस्तु नास्ति मुकुंद महोदय
आम्
अत्र कुञ्चिका अस्ति वा
कुञ्चिका अस्ति कुञ्चिका सिजर्स अस्ति
कुञ्चिका अर्थात् दिस् वन
कुञ्चिका कीज आम् कुञ्चिका अस्ति
then what else did we say was
lekani asti va
lekani we did not go through here no wait utpidika asti va lekani will see later utpidika asti va
nasti
utpika arthat kim table utpidika is table balika asti va
balika नास्ति
balika nasti uttamam astu I think we have run out of time so we will stop for the day. It's already 10 minutes past so thank you so much. Prashnaha santi va what I will do is I'll probably stop with doing the Shanti mantra. We can then go on with the questions. If anybody wants to leave and is in a hurry can leave. And as I said, next week onwards we'll have the class at 7 p.m. not at 8. Okay?
I have a question. So actually most of the conversation today went above my head.
Okay.
And I also want to speak to some extent. So
Yes.
for that, can you provide the list of pronouns and then prepositions so that I can do my homework for the next class?
So it's a very simple thing. Come to the next class as is without any preparation. And I'm sure it is not just you. You are just echoing 14 other people's thoughts. That's all. Let me assure you about that. Okay, we will develop some vocabulary, and that is the reason we have started this.
But some people seem to have very good vocabulary already.
No, they have some background. That is okay. So they will be they'll be our guides and fellow teachers for us.
Some of the words have got a lot of similarity with Hindi. Sanskritized Hindi.
So don't worry about it. We're all learning together here. So don't worry about that. We will all get to that. Okay. So remember, just take 4 key things from today's Sambhashana. Bhavat, Bhavat, Bhavati. Bhavat, Bhavati. Pullinga is Bhavat, Strilinga is Bhavati. Similarly, Bhavataha, Bhavatyaha. Okay? Then the gender neutral forms of these two, that is when you are addressing yourself, that is me and mine. Aham, aham Kartikaha. Mama nama Kartikaha. भवती पूर्णिमा, भवत्याः नाम पूर्णिमा। भवती इंटेल कार्यालये कार्यं करिष्यति। If I were to tell the say aham IIM samsthayam karyam karishyami. Astva? That is good for today. That much is good. Bhavat, bhavat, bhavatah, bhavati, bhavatyaha. And some of these words, we will get to that. So the homework, this week's homework will be what we did last class. That is basically abhyasa of the Sayukta Aksharani. Next week's homework, we will do some more sambhashanam and some more of words, vocabulary. Then we will, I'll show you how to find the meanings of these words. Where there's a place where you can go, you can look up on a website and find out the meaning of the word. If we give you a word, you should be able to look up the meanings of it. Okay? You should be able to split the word first, then find out the meaning. Any other questions, Purnima Mahoday?
No, sir, I need to learn. I think.
Don't worry, you are exactly echoing 14 other people's, as in today we had an attendance of 15 people, that's why I'm saying. And 14 other people's exact thoughts, nothing more.
Mahodaya, I have one question. That Vakratunda Mahakaya, there we pronounce it as Nirvignan.
Nirvignan.
Nirvignan. So Sanskritam, why it is not pronounced as Sanskritam?
Now that is a very important question. The Sakara, there is a, after that Anuswara, there is a Sakara that comes in there. It is not a Vargiya Vyanjana. So that's why it is Samskritam. We will look at that in detail someday. Over time. We'll get to that. Okay. And that's why I said learning a language is not one day exercise. Learning a language is like a, we take at least 2 years to catch up once we start speaking at home, right? At the age of 3, we are somewhere close to expressing ourselves in a language, right? So it will take that time. So let's imagine ourselves to be that child at this point, just listening to everybody, whatever they are talking. That will make us better. And we'll pick up the grammar, we'll pick up the usage as and when we go. Let the grammar be wrong, it's okay. Let us just talk. All right. Any other questions from last week, this week, anything else?
Which word did you use for English? Teacher. So,
Angila Bhasha Adhyapika.
Angila.
Angila.
Angila. Okay. Thank you. Ahamapi purvkale Angila Bhasha Adhyapika Asti.
Asmi. Uttamam. Bhavati appi Angila Bhasham pathayati va? Uttamam Mahoday. So please pardon all my English mistakes. We have 2 expert English teachers. So I should reduce that tells us we should all reduce our English usage here. We can all be using Ashuddha Sanskritam, but Agila Bhasha mastu.
Uttamam and Samyak mean the same. Huh?
Sorry?
Uttamam and Samyak, they mean the same.
No, not necessarily. Samyak is good, Sama. Uttamam is very high.
बहु सम्यक म्हणतात ना.
बहु सम्यक is Uttamam. Uttamam. Any other questions? Anything else?
खूपला भुरी भुरी म्हणतात ना सर. व्हेरी व्हेरी मीन्स भुरी भुरी.
बहु.
Very that is bhuri bhuri.
Bhuri
Means very.
Bhuri is the exact puri. Why do you call it bhuri? Bhuri is something that is full of something, that is fula hua. Bhuri.
ऐसा बोलते ना कभी कभी भूरी भूरी शुभाशया.
Bhuri shubhashaya, full of it. Kumbha.
Sampurna hridayasya shubhashayam.
Subhashayam. So you wanted to give some compliments to somebody. Who wanted to compliment? Vikram Mahadaya, or somebody wanted to compliment somebody. Subhashayah. Astu. Uttamam. Samapayamah va?
Mahadaya.
Okay. Next week, I'm assuming a lot of people will be back from their Astu Purnima Mahadaya. Chinta nasti.
So next week onwards, it will be at 7 o'clock, right?
Yeah, it will be at 7 o'clock. We'll make the changes and send a calendar invite also. If possible.
Sure. Thank you.
I'll put it in the group also. And I want one volunteer for doing the Prarthana Shloka. Who wants to do the Prarthana Shloka next week? Sri Rup Mahadaya Bhavan Kageta. Come practice, all four you can do at the time. Okay. Om Swasti Prajabhyah Paripalayantam Nyayena Margena Mahim Mahishaha Om Brahmanebhyo Shubhaskrityam Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavanto Kale Varshatu Parjanyaha Prithvi Sasyashalinim Teshoyam Shobharahitaha Brahmana Santu Nirbhayaha Aputra Putrinas Santu Pautrinaha Adanat Sadanat Santu Jivantu Sharadam Shatam Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramayaha Sarve Bhadrani Pashyanto Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhat Bhavet. Harihi Om. Shri Krishna Arpanamastu. Shri Guru Charanaravinda Arpanamastu. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.